2 days per week? 3? How many rest days? Every day? Twice a day? When you're first getting started on your workout program, trying to figure out how many days per week to work out, what your workout schedule can look like, can feel really overwhelming, especially because there's so many different answers to this question. The good news is that the reason there are so many different answers is because it can be flexible. I am your coach, Melanie Black, and today I'm going to help you figure out exactly what your workout schedule should be for where you're at if you are just getting started on your fitness journey. And by that, I mean you're, less than a year in of being consistent. Now, once you get past that first year of consistency and you're doing things regularly, that is a good time to really focus in on maybe making the program lead the way on how many days per week to work out. But until then, it is totally 100% up to you and your schedule. But there are some important guidelines to follow here. First off, let's differentiate between workout and activity, because you should be active every single day for general health reasons. How active? Well, let's talk to the CDC about that one. For general mental and physical health reasons, the CDC recommends you get some kind of moderate intensity activity 150 minutes per week at least. That breaks down to about 30 minutes per day of moderate intensity aerobic activity. Anything that gets your heart beating faster, puts you at a slightly elevated level. They also recommend 2 days per week minimum of strength training to build stronger bones, stronger muscles, some activities that make your muscles work harder than usual. Okay, so that's a good start. That's where we want to be for our baseline. As far as what counts as moderate intensity activity, I like to refer to the RPE chart, the rate of perceived exertion chart. This can be a very useful tool when you're getting started, because the amount of activity that it takes for you to get your heart rate up is going to change as you get healthier. So moderate activity feels like you can exercise for a long time, but you can hold short conversations. You're not necessarily going to be able to do a monologue and just keep going, ba, 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 ba. You're going to have to catch your breath occasionally. So you're exercising, your heart rate is elevated, you're breathing a little bit heavier, you are able to carry on a conversation, but you're going to need to break it up a little bit. You're not going to be able to talk nonstop. So doing that talk test can be very, very beneficial. Now, as far as the strength training goes, we want to be lifting at least our 10 rep max in general for strength training goals to benefit muscle, connective tissue strength, bone density, meaning that if you're able to lift whatever it is you're lifting 15, 20, 30 times, then it's probably not heavy enough to give you some of those strength training benefits of fortifying your body with better connective tissue, better bone density, all those things. So we want to keep that in mind for our strength training. The other simple metric we can use to determine how active we are each day is by our step count. So anything fewer than 5,000 steps per day is considered sedentary. 5,000 to 8,000, somewhat active. 8,000 to 10,000, more active still. Anything over 10,000 is considered active, and anything over 12,000 is considered highly active. So if you are in that below 5,000 steps per day category, I would definitely start by setting a step goal to increase the number of steps you get throughout your day, tracking that with either a wrist tracker, there's dozens to choose from at this point, or an app on your phone, or a simple old-fashioned pedometer. All of those will give you a good beat on how many steps you're getting per day and give you some direction to take off from. Okay, deep breath. What do we got so far? 30 minutes a day, 5 days per week, 2 strength training exercise days per week, and over 5,000 steps just to form the baseline of general health benefits from exercise and increased activity. If that is really a lofty goal for you at this point, if you're well below that, don't despair. It does get easier the more you do things, and you don't want to dive into like the maximum right away. So in other words, if right now you are completely sedentary, you've been getting fewer than 5,000 steps per day, I would start just by increasing that step count. That would be goal number one. My advice to you, increase the step count first. Get up to 8,000 steps per day. However you get those in, once you've accomplished that, then start with maybe 10 minutes a day of moderate activity and 2 days a week of strength training. Remember, strength training is just what is, your 10 rep max for you. You would maybe do 2 to 3 sets of 10 to start it off of whole body multi-joint movements. That's squats, push, pull, hinge, all of those big multi-joint movements. If you have no idea what I just said right now, if you don't know what that is and you're feeling overwhelmed, please just go ahead and join the Nerd Gym. I will help you out there, www.thenerdgym.com, where we do live online Zoom classes, put you through the whole program, help you out with your questions, all that good stuff. But if you're a DIY individual, then keep watching this video, because we're going to get into your days of the week and figuring out your schedule next. Now, when it comes to finding which days per week, that largely is dictated by your schedule and your other obligations, especially when you're just getting started. Remember, when you're getting started, you're not really going to go above 6 or 7 on the RPE chart over here. When you're doing workouts that are up in the 8 to 9 range, then you might need a rest day in between. But until then, you don't necessarily need a rest day. When we're talking about CDC recommendations, they say 150 minutes per week. You can combine some of those. So if you can do an hour every other day, that's okay too. But if you're just getting started, I recommend doing smaller bouts of activity more frequently. This will reduce muscle soreness. It will it'll be easier on your lifestyle, easier on your schedule. Set yourself small goals every day of the week, or at least 6 days a week. That 1 day break per week is less to do with a physical need and more to do with a mental break that you might need when you're first getting started and you feel like, man, I've been working out every single day this week. I just want to take 1 day to relax on the couch and do nothing. So while you will maybe benefit from that emotionally as you're trying to start all these new habits and it's really difficult, your body doesn't necessarily benefit from that. If we're working out just at a moderate intensity, we can do that moderate intensity every single day and your body will benefit. You will not need a rest day from that level of intensity. So for at least the first year of your fitness journey, your schedule will dictate your workout schedule, not the other way around. In other words, you don't have to do a training protocol or a training program that requires, specific, maybe different day splits and having to do the rest days, the 72 hours of rest in between for muscle recovery. All those things are not necessary. Those are programming things that are not necessary for your fitness journey in the first year. In the first year, you want to just get up to those baseline levels recommended by the CDC, getting that step count, getting that moderate activity, 150 minutes per week, plus 2 days of strength training per week. And to do that, let's take a look at your schedule. Where can you fit it in? If you've got a very, very tight schedule, then doing smaller increments of 10, 20 minutes at a time of exercise interspersed throughout your day is going to be more beneficial for you. If you are able to set aside a block of time and really make that you time and enjoy it, like getting out for a walk or doing some light activity, whatever it is that works for you. And that moderate activity, the first thing that comes to mind is walking, but that's not necessarily the right answer for everybody. You may have knee or foot issues or might have extreme weight loss issues that require you to take it a little bit easier on the knees and hips. If that is the case, then maybe look into cycling or swimming or some other activity that gets you moving, gets you to that moderate intensity level. Okay, so let's assume you know what you're going to do for your fitness goals, whether that's walking or cycling or swimming or exercising at a gym or hopping onto the Nerd Gym online fitness and joining us for a fun little Zoom class, whenever you can fit it in. Once you have made that decision, which days you work out is the next thing you need to decide. Okay, how am I going to fit all this activity in? And it can be really tempting when you're getting started to say, oh, well, you know what? Monday, I'm always in a bad mood. I'm not going to try to work out on Monday. Or, ooh, I've got extra time on Thursday. I could probably squeeze more in there. Here's the paradigm shift that I want you to make. On the days when you know you're in a crap mood, on the days when you know that you have too much to do, those are the days that I want you to prioritize your activity. Prioritize your activity on your worst days. If you have predictably bad days in your week, predictably more exhausting, more problematic days in your week, make sure you get some activity in on those days, because if you're just getting started, you might not believe me now, but hear me now, believe me later, you will absolutely start to see activity as therapeutic, as a benefit. You know, right now you might be stress eating, you might feel tired, and having those kinds of responses to whatever daily stresses you're dealing with. But if we're doing things in a systematic way, where we start to look at exercise as our release, as our outlet for stress, as our way of overcoming obstacles and making time for ourselves when we need it the most, not when it's convenient for everybody else, but when you need it the most, if we can start looking at exercise as our go-to feel-good thing, then it will have the opportunity to become that. All too often people think, oh, I need to be in a good mood to exercise. Not true. Exercise exists to make you feel better. Physically, emotionally, mentally, all of these things. Exercise will do that for you. Now, will it do it right away? No, getting started sucks. I'll be real with you right now, okay? Getting started on any new routine is really difficult. Getting started in any new habit is really difficult, which is why accountability is so important, which is why having a well-planned system, well-planned program is so important. That's why I do classes online. To help people with those kinds of things. But you can absolutely train your body, your mind to look at exercise as your go-to stress relief, and it will make everything better. So as you're planning which days you should work out, try to plan for 6 or 7 days per week, just a little bit at a time, gradually building it up from there. And especially on the days when you predict you will be in a foul mood or have extra stress or extra problems to deal with, make the time, especially on those days. And you can look at this in one of two ways. You can say, well, I'm just getting started. It's going to kind of feel sucky no matter what I do, so I may as well just be miserable for the whole day. Or, in addition to that, at some point it's going to turn around, and instead of feeling sucky and horrible, the exercise is actually going to start feeling good. It's going to start feeling really good. And then those days will turn around with that. So that you have absolutely every reason to put that activity, to put that additional exercise on your worst days. So go ahead and let me know down in the comments, which days are the worst days of the week? Do you get bad case of the Mondays? I actually like Monday because I feel like I've got the whole week ahead of me. It's Fridays that I go, oh no, I didn't accomplish what I want to this week, even though it's totally arbitrary. I want to know what you think. What is your favorite or least favorite day of the week? Drop it down in the comments. And if you need help with getting your activity in check, go to visit www.thenerdgym.com. That will take you to our Patreon page where you can join the Nerd Gym at any membership level, get access to live online classes with the Zoom, where you can hop into 20, 40, or 60-minute long classes whenever it's convenient for you and your schedule, as well as get access to meal plans and live coaching with yours truly. And I will see you next time. Bye.